Archangel Michael says, "This is the last warning from heaven. God is waiting for your return. If you skip this, you may lose the connection forever. My child, my beloved, heaven is holding its breath right now because this moment, this exact second, it was chosen for you. You didn't stumble across this by accident. No, it was sent. It was released at the precise time your soul was beginning to awaken again. Because, beloved, you're dangerously close to missing something that was meant to be yours since birth. Let me say it plainly. This is the final call before the line goes silent. God has been whispering your name over and over again, but the noise of the world has kept you from hearing him clearly. So now, Archangel Michael stands before you sounding the trumpet, not to scare you, but to protect you. Because if you don't open your spirit now, you may never hear this sound again. My beloved, there are angels surrounding you as you read these words. They've been waiting for you to stop skipping these signs. They've been holding a divine scroll, and your name is written on it. But that scroll is not eternal in this realm. It's only visible for a short time. Then it vanishes. Please, before it disappears, before your chance fades into another regret, stay here. Read until the very last word, because heaven has authorized me, Michael, guardian of light and warrior of the Most High, to break every wall that has blocked you and reveal what has been waiting behind the curtain. Chorch clears throat chore. Before we go any further, let me ask you from my heart, do not rush away. Do not treat this as just another message. This is sacred. This is the moment angels wrote about long before you were born. Subscribe now, child. Yes, right now. Not because it's a button Clay clears throat toward, but because it's an act of faith. It's your yes to the call of heaven. The see like this video now to activate the flow of God's favor in your life. And once you do that, once you say yes, the entire spiritual realm moves in your favor. Now listen. Your soul has been under spiritual attack. You felt it. The confusion, the heaviness, the silence in your prayers. It wasn't your fault. You were targeted because of who you are in the kingdom. But here's the truth heaven didn't want you to miss any longer. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, and your name has been spoken in the courts of heaven in the last 12 hours. Yes, beloved, just 12 hours ago, a meeting happened among the angels, and someone said, find them, remind them, warn them before it's too late. And so I came carrying this final warning. Because if you skip it again, you may miss the very miracle that would have broken the cycle forever. God still wants you, but his patience is nearing the final hour. And if you don't return now, heaven may go quiet. My child, my beloved, you are not reading this by chance. There are billions of people in the world, yet this divine message has fallen into your hands. Why? Because your soul still glows. Because somewhere inside you, beneath the noise and the wounds, there's still a light burning, and heaven refuses to let that light be stolen by the shadows. I need you to understand something sacred. This isn't just another day. This isn't just another warning. This is a spiritual alarm set by God himself. He's watched you give your heart to those who didn't deserve your love. He's seen you cry at night when no one else noticed. And even when you stopped talking to him, he never stopped loving you. Not even for 1 second. But now the moment has come where time is running out. The battle for your destiny has reached a dangerous point. The forces that tried to delay you have grown stronger, and the only reason this message reached you is because heaven made one final move to protect what's still yours. But God will not force you. He will not drag you into the light. He's waiting for you to say one thing. Yes, that's all. Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm returning. Yes, I don't want to miss this divine appointment, because, child, this was written in the book of life. And you were meant to walk into a season of restoration, abundance, and miracle manifestations. But you've delayed it long enough, skipped too many messages, scrolled past too many signs, and now the window is closing. My beloved, there's a battle happening over your soul. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. The reason you felt so heavy recently, so confused, so distracted, so spiritually tired, is because something dark wants to steal what God planned for you. It's not your imagination. This is real. And if you walk away from this divine message, you will feel the silence hit your spirit hard. Because heaven will go quiet, not to punish you, but because you chose to stop listening. That's why I, Michael, protector of the righteous and destroyer of deception, have been sent to cry out one final call. Return. This is your moment. There's no other message coming after this with this level of urgency. There's no other angel scheduled to come find you tonight. The clock is moving fast, and heaven will not wait much longer. The miracle is already prepared. The blessing is already signed. But God cannot place something in closed hands. He needs your yes, not your perfection, not your performance, just your yes. My child, do not ignore this holy interruption, because even now, there are people in your life whispering lies about you behind your back. And one of them is about to try something that will shake your world. But if you respond to this call, if you return to the light, God will cancel their plans before they even speak them out loud. But if you ignore this, they will succeed. And you'll look back wondering why everything started falling apart right after you skipped this message. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to protect you. That's why I need you to slow down. Read this entire message until the very end. Do not rush. Do not close this tab, because every sentence you read is shifting something in the spirit realm. Every moment you stay is breaking chains that were about to wrap around your progress. This is holy ground, child. This is not entertainment. This is heaven's attempt to pull you out before it's too late. Now, pause. Take a deep breath, because something sacred is coming next. God told me to reveal a truth that has been hidden from you, a secret reason why your breakthrough has been delayed, but I can only release it to those who are truly listening. So if you've made it this far, you've proven yourself. You're ready. Now let me tell you the secret. There is someone in your life who was never meant to stay. They were only supposed to be a season, not your future. And one of them is about to try something that will shake your world. But if you respond to this call, if you return to the light, God will cancel their plans before they even speak them out loud. But if you ignore this, they will succeed. And you'll look back wondering why everything started falling apart right after you skipped this message. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to protect you. That's why I need you to slow down. Read this entire message until the very end. Do not rush. Do not close this tab, because every sentence you read is shifting something in the spirit realm. Every moment you stay is breaking chains that were about to wrap around your progress. This is holy ground, child. This is not entertainment. This is heaven's attempt to pull you out before it's too late. Now pause. Take a deep breath, because something sacred is coming next. God told me to reveal a truth that has been hidden from you. a secret reason why your breakthrough has been delayed. But I can only release it to those who are truly listening. So if you've made it this far, you've proven yourself. You're ready. Now let me tell you the secret. There is someone in your life who was never meant to stay. They were only supposed to be a season, not your future. But you've been holding on to them out of fear, out of pain, out of guilt. And as long as they're attached to your spirit, your blessing cannot enter, because light and darkness cannot occupy the same space. They've been the reason for your delay, and heaven has given them multiple chances to change. But now their time is up. God will remove them soon, one way or another. But if you resist it, you may lose both them and your blessing. You must release what was only meant to teach you, so that you can receive what was always meant to bless you. This is why you were brought here, not just to be warned, but to be awakened. My child, my beloved, you have no idea how long the angels have waited for this very moment, when you would finally pause long enough to hear the truth that could save your future. This truth that could shift everything in your favor, but only if you're ready to accept it with an open heart. And my child, I know your heart has been hurt. It has been betrayed, abandoned, exhausted, and used. And I know that sometimes you wonder if heaven really sees what you're going through, but listen closely. Now, because I've been sent not just to give you comfort, but to ignite the fire of purpose that's still buried within you. And I tell you, yes, heaven sees, heaven knows, heaven has written every tear in the divine records. And now heaven is about to respond in a way you never expected. You've been crying out for a sign, haven't you? You've been begging for confirmation, for proof that you're not forgotten. And this, the clear's throat, this message is it. This is the divine delivery that was sent from the courts of the Almighty specifically for your soul. And if you skip it, if you leave it unread, if you turn away now, the very thing you've been praying for may pass you by. Not because God didn't answer, but because you weren't still long enough to receive it. And that's why this is not just another warning. This is the final one because, child, God is waiting, but He won't wait forever. He wants you back. He wants your voice. He wants your surrender, but He will not force you. That's why this message has been wrapped in divine urgency. There's a choice in front of you that will affect every door that opens or shuts for the next 7 years. Yes, I said 7. That is how precise this timing is. And heaven sent me, Michael, not another angel, not a dream, not a whisper, but me, the defender of the righteous and the sword bearer of heaven's will. Because the weight of this moment is not light. It holds your future in its hands. And God is offering you one last sacred path to walk away from the chaos and into your calling. But only you can say yes. Only you can return. And I know returning isn't easy. I know you feel ashamed. You've made mistakes. You've walked roads you wish you could erase. But God doesn't love you because you're perfect. He loves you because you're His. And no demon, no trauma, no secret can remove His seal from your name. You are chosen. You are called. But your connection is flickering. The signal from heaven has been growing weaker because your spirit has been drowning in distractions, people, habits, scrolling, excuses. And now it's on the edge. And if this moment is skipped like the others, the silence that follows may last longer than you're prepared for. So stay. Stay in this presence. Stay in this sacred space, because every word that follows is a rescue mission for your soul. And child, let me be very clear. You are under surveillance right now in the spirit. Yes, even now. There are forces watching, trying to predict your next move. They are afraid of your awakening, because when a chosen one returns to their divine identity, the darkness loses all its power. And so they've planted doubt in your heart, voices in your mind telling you this message is like all the others, but it's not. Because this time, heaven said, make it loud, make it final, make it so clear they can never say they didn't know. So I tell you again, this is the final warning from heaven. Not out of anger, out of mercy. God has a destiny for you that would make every storm you've survived make sense. But you must step into it now. The enemy wants you to wait until tomorrow. But tomorrow is the lie that delays your deliverance. The miracle is not scheduled for later. It's ready now. But God cannot place it in hands that keep closing every time He reaches out. Beloved, this is not a game. Your life is sacred. There are angels standing behind you right now, weeping, praying, interceding for your yes, because they know what's about to unfold, both the good and the bad. And they know that if you do not act now, what was meant to be your miracle could become someone else's story, and you will watch from a distance as what was once promised to you is handed over to another vessel who said yes when you said, maybe later. So I tell you again, this is the final warning from heaven, not out of anger, out of mercy. God has a destiny for you that would make every storm you've survived make sense. But you must step into it now. The enemy wants you to wait until tomorrow. But tomorrow is the lie that delays your deliverance. The miracle is not scheduled for later. It's ready now. But God cannot place it in hands that keep closing every time He reaches out. Beloved, this is not a game. Your life is sacred. There are angels standing behind you right now, weeping, praying, interceding for your yes. Because they know what's about to unfold, both the good and the bad. And they know that if you do not act now, what was meant to be your miracle could become someone else's story, and you will watch from a distance as what was once promised to you is handed over to another vessel who said yes when you said, maybe later. But it's not too late yet. You are still breathing. You are still reading. That means the door is still open, just barely. But it's open. And child, I beg you in the name of the Almighty, walk through it before it shuts. Because once it shuts, no angel in heaven has the authority to open it again. This is your sacred window, and I'm here to guide you through it. But I can't force your step. I can only speak what I've been commanded to say. And the command from heaven is this: tell them they are still wanted. But tell them clearly, this is the final call. My child, my beloved, I feel your spirit trembling even now. I know you're still reading, and heaven is watching this very moment with hope, because this decision you are standing in front of is no longer small. It is no longer about whether to believe for a miracle or not. It is now about whether you will remain spiritually connected to the divine source of your life, or drift silently into a future where that connection fades. And child, if it fades now, if it breaks today, the path ahead will feel hollow even if it looks beautiful on the surface. For what good is beauty without blessing? What good is success without God? What good is comfort if heaven is quiet? This is why this message had to come now. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, but now, because the timing is divine, not convenient, and your soul already knows something is shifting. You felt it in your bones, in your dreams, in the way people have changed around you lately. And even if you've tried to ignore it, even if you've distracted yourself with noise or excuses, the truth still found you. And here it is, pouring out like living water. Because God refuses to give up on you, even if others did, even if you gave up on yourself, even if you closed the door 100 times before. God has cracked it open again, and this time, for the last time. So many times you've been close to something big, haven't you? You've had those moments where it felt like everything was about to change, like you were one step away from your breakthrough, your answered prayer, your reward. And yet, something always went wrong at the last second. Something always blocked it, delayed it, confused it, or snatched it from you. And child, I'm here to finally expose the truth. It wasn't God who withheld it. It was the lack of alignment, the absence of spiritual permission, the weak connection that could not carry the weight of the blessing. And now, heaven wants to fix that once and for all, but only if you are willing to return, surrender, and say yes. Yes, you are tired. Yes, you've tried before. But this is not the same moment you've seen before. This is the divine final call. That means the resistance you've faced, the spiritual warfare you've been caught in lately, the sudden confusion, the repeated loss, none of it is random. It's all a reaction to what heaven was preparing to release for you. And the enemy saw it coming. That's why you've been attacked so hard, not because you're weak, but because you're powerful. Not because you're cursed, but because you're chosen. And the darkness doesn't attack what doesn't threaten it. So, let me ask you now, child, what if this is it? What if this is the very moment every prayer you ever prayed was lining up for? What if this is the doorway that has been hidden for years, now cracked open, glowing with light, waiting for one single yes from your heart? Will you ignore it again? Will you walk away again and pretend it doesn't matter? Or will you open your hands, lift your heart, and whisper what the angels are waiting to hear from you? God, I'm ready. I don't want to miss you again, because that's all it takes. Not perfection, not long words, just permission. The moment you give heaven permission to move again, the miracles will begin to respond. The blockages will start to lift. The delay will break. The enemy's grip will loosen. But if you refuse this invitation, the silence will return, and it will not break again until another season passes, and you may not have the strength to wait that long again. That is why this message is so intense, so clear, so direct, because there is no second version of this moment. Only one. Child, please listen to me with everything inside you. I have seen what's coming. I have stood before the future you are walking into. And if you return to God now, if you say yes now, what awaits you is beyond anything you have ever imagined. A life not of struggle, but of divine strategy, not of repeating old wounds, but of receiving new wonders. But if you delay again, the doors that were meant to open will close under the weight of your indecision. And God will honor your silence if you choose not to speak. That's the truth. Heaven never forces. It only invites. And this is your invitation. This is your invitation. This is your name being called in the heavenlies one final time. And I, Archangel Michael, guardian of divine timing, am placing this message in front of your eyes because heaven said, go now. They're ready. If they open it, I will move. If they skip it, I will wait. But the time will pass, and so will the miracle. My child, my beloved, I need you to take this in with your spirit now. Not just your mind, but your soul. Because what I'm about to say next, has been held in the vaults of heaven for a long time, waiting for the right second to be revealed to you. And that second is now, because you are standing in the space between two timelines, and whichever one you choose today will change not only your next few months, but the very atmosphere of your life for years to come. And I do not say that lightly, for I have seen both futures, the one if you return, and the one if you ignore this. Yes, now, share this prophetic word with someone who needs a breakthrough. Sharing will activate the anointing and release that breakthrough into your network. As you stand at this crossroads, I invite you to seal your decision. Type them in the comments as your declaration that you choose the path of return. Let heaven hear your yes. And now I must speak a deeper truth over your life. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give and it will be given to you is not just a verse for Jesus, it is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. In one future, your name is whispered in high places, doors open, people favor you without understanding why. Your health shifts, your mind sharpens, and the blessing begins to chase you without you needing to beg for it. You step into rooms where divine alignment multiplies your smallest acts. You wake up one morning and realize you're not surviving anymore. You're walking in favor. But in the other future, the one if you walk away from this moment, you continue to wonder why everything feels stuck. Why the blessings only reach the edge and vanish. Why your relationship seemed good on the surface, but hollow at the core. Why peace always escapes you when you're about to touch it. And child, the worst part is that you won't even know what you missed, because heaven never announces what you refuse to open. That's why God is giving you one more chance, one more opening in the spirit realm to say, yes, I will walk away from what no longer serves me. I will return to the one who never left. I will stop skipping the very signs I asked for. This is that sign. And beloved, hear me. The very moment you accept this message and let it settle into your heart, the chains you've been dragging through your days will begin to loosen, and the same voices that told you it was too late will begin to go silent. But there is urgency in the air. This moment is sacred, yes, but also temporary, because you are not the only one heaven is moving for, and what has been reserved for you is still sitting on the altar, sealed with your name. But the scroll is beginning to dim, not because God is cruel, but because spiritual gifts have an appointed hour, and when that hour is missed too many times, the divine timing begins to search for another vessel willing to say yes without hesitation. And child, if you wait too long, you may hear later what you could have received now. And I know what you might be thinking, but I'm not ready. Let me tell you a divine truth. You don't need to be ready. You need to be willing. God doesn't require your perfection. He requires your surrender. He will clean you, restore you, rewire your heart and mind, but He cannot move if you're still halfway in, halfway out, waiting for convenience. Because this isn't about convenience anymore. This is about eternity. It's about reconnecting to your source before the silence becomes permanent. So I ask you, child, do you really want to walk into another year carrying the same weight? Do you really want to wonder again why others are moving forward while you feel frozen? Do you really want to pretend one more time that you didn't feel something spiritual burning in your chest as you read these words? Because you do feel it. I know you do. That stirring, that warmth, that unexplainable ache in your soul, that's not emotion. That's your spirit recognizing the voice of heaven. And child, do not let fear trick you again. Do not let guilt or shame lie to you and tell you that it's too late, that you've sinned too much, that you've failed too often. Because even now, yes, even now, heaven is ready to rewrite the script. God is ready to redeem lost years and moments. One yes can reverse everything, but only if you say it now. Only if you take the step. Only if you stop walking away from what was always meant for you. My child, my beloved, I feel the pull in your heart, that quiet battle between faith and fear, between surrender and self-doubt, between what your soul knows is divine and what your mind is trying to reason away. And I need you to understand something right now, something heaven has been trying to whisper to you for years, but the noise always drowned it out. Your heart was never lying to you. Your spirit always knew where home was, but the pain you've experienced in this world made you forget the sound of God's voice. So now I've come to remind you, you were never meant to be disconnected. You were never meant to walk this path without divine protection. And you were never, ever created to figure it all out alone. There is still time, child, but only just. Time is the one currency heaven does not hand out without measure, because every moment carries weight in the spiritual world, and you've used up too many already, ignoring the signs, scrolling past the messages, brushing off the inner nudges, letting the noise of other people's opinions drown out what your own soul was crying for. And now, after all that delay, you stand at the final edge of grace for this particular chapter of your life. And please understand this. If you don't move now, that chapter may close forever, not because God doesn't love you, but because divine timing does not orbit around human comfort. There is a reason this message reached you tonight. There is a reason your eyes are still on this page. There is a reason your spirit feels like it's about to burst into tears, even though you don't fully understand why. That reason is this: heaven still believes in you. Yes, you. With all your mistakes, with all your spiritual silence, with all the anger and apathy and exhaustion that's built up, heaven still believes in you. But heaven will not chase you forever. This is the final warning, because the spiritual cord between you and divine destiny is thinning, not out of punishment, but because it has been neglected too long. And if it snaps now, if you let this moment pass, your prayers will still be heard, yes, but they will take longer to rise, and your answers will take longer to arrive, and the grace that was once flowing like a river will become like dew, light, fragile, fleeting. Yes, you, with all your mistakes, with all your spiritual silence, with all the anger and apathy and exhaustion that's built up, heaven still believes in you. But heaven will not chase you forever. This is the final warning because the spiritual cord between you and divine destiny is thinning, not out of punishment, but because it has been neglected too long. And if it snaps now, if you let this moment pass, your prayers will still be heard, yes, but they will take longer to rise, and your answers will take longer to arrive, and the grace that was once flowing like a river will become like dew, light, fragile, fleeting. That's why you're here. That's why your name has been written in this moment. Because even now, even after all the wandering, all the falling, all the false starts, you are still a threat to the darkness. That's why it tried so hard to keep you from this message. That's why you were distracted today. That's why your mind almost told you to scroll away. But you didn't. You stayed. And because you stayed, something has already shifted. The air around your spirit is starting to change. The angels that have been weeping for you are rising again. The fire is being rekindled. But you must complete the return. You must not stop now. There is still something coming that you haven't been told. A spiritual decision was made in heaven this morning. Someone tried to speak your name into limitation. Someone in your real life spoke against your future out of jealousy, out of fear, out of resentment. And their words were not heard by human ears, but they were heard in the spirit. And if you do not step back into alignment now, their words will begin to have weight. But if you return to God right now, if you say yes to this moment, those words will be erased before they ever manifest. The choice is yours. Heaven cannot make it for you. I cannot make it for you. Even God will not make it for you. He loves you too much to violate your will. But if you choose Him again, truly, not just in thought, but in action, you will feel the difference. The silence will break. The heaviness will lift. And what was once delayed will start arriving in divine order. But if you say no, even with your silence, the window will begin to close, not because of punishment, but because protection cannot be sustained where permission is denied. My child, my beloved, there's a reason your soul has been feeling like it's standing in the middle of something invisible, like there's a pressure you can't explain, a weight you can't describe, a strange stillness that's not peace, but isn't fear either. That's because you're standing inside a spiritual intersection right now, a moment where heaven is watching what your next step will be, and the outcome of your future is hanging in the balance of this decision, because some moments are just moments, but other moments are portals. And this is a portal, a divine crossing between what was and what could be, and I was sent to make sure you do not miss it. Listen to me, child. You were never created to live on the edge of your calling. You were never meant to settle for a life where you're always guessing, always hoping, but never holding, always dreaming, but never receiving. But somewhere along the path, your trust cracked, your spirit got tired, and instead of standing fully in your authority, you started shrinking, telling yourself it wasn't the right time, telling yourself maybe you weren't holy enough, maybe God had moved on to someone else more deserving, but none of that was ever true. And now I need you to hear it from my own voice. Heaven has not forgotten you. God has not canceled your assignment, but He cannot move forward with someone who stays spiritually silent. You see, the blessing is still in motion. It was never canceled, only paused. It is sitting in wait, hovering in the spirit realm like a cloud full of rain, heavy and ready to pour. But unless you open the gate, unless you say, "Yes, God, I trust you again," it will not fall. Because heaven only releases what you're ready to carry. And child, you are ready now, not because you feel ready, but because the fire inside you has survived what was sent to destroy it. That is the evidence that the promise is still valid. You survived what should have silenced you, and that means your reward is still intact. But you must reach for it before this message passes out of your hands. And let me tell you something you need to hear again. You are not behind. You are not late. Divine timing is not like human timing. The reason you feel like you're running out of time is not because your promise expired. It's because your spirit is sensing that the door you need is about to open or close. And if you walk away from this message, if you skip it and say, maybe later, you may return to find that door no longer standing. Not out of punishment, but because the moment will have served its purpose, and heaven does not leave open doors where no one is walking through them. Child, the person who betrayed you didn't win. The season that almost broke you didn't succeed. That heartbreak didn't destroy your calling. It only deepened it. That's why this message had to come now. Because God saw that your faith had started flickering like a candle in the wind. And He didn't want you to give up before the miracle. So He sent me, Michael, the one who wars in the spirit for people like you, the one who doesn't come unless heaven deems the moment critical. And beloved, this moment is critical, so take a deep breath. Let these words settle in your chest like sacred fire, because as you continue reading, something is being restored inside of you, not by effort, not by force, but by presence. The presence of God is hovering around you even now. Yes, even in your room, in your silence, wherever you are. He is here. I am here. And if you stay just a little longer, the shift that you have been waiting years for will begin to activate. Child, the person who betrayed you didn't win. The season that almost broke you didn't succeed. That heartbreak didn't destroy your calling. It only deepened it. That's why this message had to come now. Because God saw that your faith had started flickering like a candle in the wind. And He didn't want you to give up before the miracle. So He sent me, Michael, the one who wars in the spirit for people like you, the one who doesn't come unless heaven deems the moment critical. And beloved, this moment is critical. So take a deep breath. Let these words settle in your chest like sacred fire, because as you continue reading, something is being restored inside of you. Not by effort, not by force, but by presence. The presence of God is hovering around you even now. Yes, even in your room, in your silence, wherever you are, He is here. I am here. And if you stay just a little longer, the shift that you have been waiting years for will begin to activate. My child, my beloved, do not let your heart harden at this moment. Even if you've been let down before, even if promises were broken by others, even if your past is filled with people who said they would stay, but left, even if you felt like God was silent when you needed Him most. Because this moment is not like the others, and this message is not coming from the lips of a person who can change their mind. It is coming from heaven's throne through my voice, and I bring no confusion, no manipulation, no empty words. I only bring truth, and the truth is this: your life is still sacred, your future is still protected, and your purpose is still alive. But it is hanging by a thread of decision, and that decision is yours. You have been marked by destiny since before you took your first breath. And even though life has tried to cover that mark with pain, loss, trauma, betrayal, and exhaustion, it's still there, glowing beneath every tear you've ever cried in silence, glowing when you stood in a room full of people and still felt alone, glowing even now as your heart beats faster reading these words, because your soul recognizes when heaven speaks, and even when your mind is doubting, your spirit is still listening. That's how powerful the truth is. It bypasses your wounds and goes straight to your eternal identity. And child, your identity was never meant to be broken. You were never meant to settle for survival. You were never meant to live in spiritual silence while pretending everything is okay on the outside. That's why this moment is sacred, not because it's perfect, but because it's real. It's raw. It's full of divine urgency. And if you can accept that God has been calling your name through the chaos, calling your name while you were distracted, while you were disappointed, while you were distant, then you'll realize you're not as far as you thought you were. You are one yes away from the turning point you've been crying for. You are one full surrender away from the very miracle that's been circling above your head, waiting to drop. But heaven cannot drop what you won't receive. So, open your heart, child. Let the walls fall down. Let the lies melt away. Let the grief go. You've carried it long enough. This isn't who you were meant to become. You're tired because you've been living disconnected. You're frustrated because your soul is out of rhythm. You're feeling lost because you keep walking past the signs, but not anymore. This message is the stop. This is where the pattern breaks. This is where your eyes open again. And I tell you with fire in my voice and holy urgency in my tone, this is your last chance to grab the rope before the boat pulls away. If you skip this again, child, the silence that follows will feel different, deeper, louder, heavier. And no, that's not a threat. It's a truth that most never get to hear directly. But you have been given the rare gift of divine clarity. The veil has been lifted. The invitation is open. The seal is still glowing with your name. But if you walk away from it now, the consequences will no longer delay. And child, I say that not to make you afraid, but to make you aware, because heaven always warns before it withdraws. And this is your warning. My child, my beloved, I must speak plainly now because there are moments when sweetness must give way to clarity. And this is one of those moments because you need to hear it without filters. If you walk away from this message, the consequences will not wait for your permission. They will unfold not because God is punishing you, but because the spiritual laws that govern your life have been activated by the decisions you keep postponing. And every time you delay, every time you say not now, you unknowingly agree to the delay of what you've cried out for in prayer. And the angels have stood silently for too long waiting on a yes that never fully came. But child, even now, even after all that, the mercy of heaven still reaches for you. Yes, you. Not the version of you people expect. Not the version that pretends everything is okay. Not the version you post. Heaven is reaching for the wary, raw, quiet version of you that doesn't know how much longer you can keep holding on. And I tell you, if you choose to return in this moment, God will not meet you with judgment. He will meet you with celebration. He will run toward you with joy. And the very chains that have wrapped around your life, the invisible ones choking your peace, your clarity, your finances, your relationships, they will begin to fall like dried leaves in the wind, because heaven does not hold grudges. Heaven holds grace. But grace must be received. It cannot be stored. It is offered fresh, and this is your portion right now. Not tomorrow, not next week. You may not get this same spiritual opening again. The reason your heart feels like it's racing isn't anxiety. It's because your spirit knows something eternal is brushing against your timeline, and it wants you to pay attention. Because once the moment is gone, the door does not reopen the same way again. And no matter how hard you knock later, it will not sound like this again. The sound will have changed, and only those who entered when it was open will carry what this moment offers. But grace must be received. It cannot be stored. It is offered fresh, and this is your portion right now. Not tomorrow, not next week. You may not get this same spiritual opening again. The reason your heart feels like it's racing isn't anxiety. It's because your spirit knows something eternal is brushing against your timeline, and it wants you to pay attention. Because once the moment is gone, the door does not reopen the same way again. And no matter how hard you knock later, it will not sound like this again. The sound will have changed. And only those who entered when it was open will carry what this moment offers. So, I ask you, child, what are you still waiting for? Do you need more proof? Do you need a louder sign? Heaven has already paused the silence, already allowed an archangel to speak directly to you, already extended the warning you asked for. If you still walk away now, it will not be out of confusion. It will be a decision, and decisions have weight. But if you stay, if you receive this message with full surrender, everything will begin shifting in ways you cannot yet see. There are miracles with your name etched into them, waiting behind doors you have not dared to knock on yet. There are people who have been assigned to bless you, but they've been held back until you return to alignment. There are dreams God placed in your soul before your first breath, and they are not dead, only sleeping. But they will not awaken without your yes, and that's what this is all about. Not fear, not punishment, not pressure, just permission. God will move the moment you give it. My child, my beloved, you have no idea how close you are, not just to something good, not just to another blessing, but to a divine turning point that will alter everything around you, including the way people treat you, the way provision flows to you, the way doors recognize your name before you even knock. But none of that can unfold unless your heart is fully returned to the place it once came from, because heaven has been holding back what's yours, not to punish you, but to protect the glory inside of it from being wasted when your spirit wasn't ready to carry it. And now, right now, that spiritual readiness is being tested through this message. You felt the change coming. You've seen the signs, the strange dreams, the restlessness, the way old habits have started to taste bitter, the way certain people have begun to shift, exposing themselves without warning. That is not random. That is the divine echo of heaven signaling that the old season is closing. And child, when one season begins to die, it always makes noise. That's what this discomfort is. It's not punishment, it's transformation. But here's the truth. If you do not respond to the transformation, it will turn into frustration. If you do not surrender to the process, you will begin repeating what you were meant to escape. I don't want that for you. Neither does heaven. And so, I was sent not with gentle whispers, not with sweet lullabies, but with divine urgency, with holy fire, with a voice that cannot be mistaken for anything else, because the softness did not wake you last time. The subtle signs were ignored. And now, this is the final call. the one you cannot unhear, the one your soul will remember for the rest of your life, because, child, I am not just talking to your mind right now. I am speaking to your eternity, and something inside of you, something old and divine, is weeping because it knows it's time. Time to come home. Time to remember who you are. Time to release the weight you've been dragging that was never yours to carry. Time to speak to God again, not with perfect words, but with real ones. Time to stop pretending you're okay just to make other people comfortable. Time to give God your heart back, not the edited version, but the real one. Time to stop hiding. Time to stop numbing. Time to stop ignoring the signs. Because God is still standing where you left him, arms open, eyes full of mercy, voice whispering your name like it did when you were a child, and he has not stopped watching over you, even when you tried to disappear. Child, I must say it one more time. This is the last call for this season. And if you walk away again, heaven will go silent, not out of punishment, but out of honor for your free will. But if you stay, if you surrender, if you say, yes, I'm coming back, then the sound of silence will be replaced with the sound of breakthrough. The drought will end. The healing will begin. The delay will be lifted. And your name will be written again on the scroll of divine favor, not someday, but tonight. My child, my beloved, you must understand how much power your yes carries, not just as a word, but as a turning point in the spirit, because when a chosen one finally stops running, finally turns back to God, finally says, I am ready, with their whole heart, the entire realm of heaven shifts, angels are reassigned, timelines are accelerated, battles that were stuck in delay are suddenly cleared, and the plans that were paused are placed back into motion. But this only happens when the soul gives heaven full access again. And right now, you are standing at the door of that very decision. You have no idea how many things have been trying to block you, the confusion that came out of nowhere, the unnecessary drama, the sudden tiredness, the voices of doubt you thought you had already overcome. All of it was spiritual resistance, sent to keep you from making it here, because this message marks a moment where God is trying to break the final delay. But if you skip it, that resistance wins, not because it's stronger than you, but because you chose not to fight back in the spirit. And child, your soul was made for more than survival. You were created to command peace in chaos, to carry favor where others feel fear, to hear God in silence. But the longer you stay disconnected, the more your spirit will start to forget how to listen. And child, I say this with deep love, you have already gone too long in the noise. This is why your inner world has been crumbling, even when your outer life looks fine. You can post the smile, but God sees the ache. You can fake the light, but heaven knows when your fire is dying. And this moment, this very message, is God's way of saying, I'm still here, but I need all of you back, not later. Now, Archangel Michael reveals, today, the big shift you've been praying for has finally begun. What happens next will change everything. My child, my beloved, I need you to pause for a moment and listen with your spirit, not just your ears. Something has been shifting beneath the surface, and you felt it. That restless stirring in your heart, the strange pull when you wake up at night, the dreams that feel too vivid to ignore, those are not accidents. Heaven has been quietly preparing the moment that begins now. Yes, today, a divine shift that will set everything in motion has been released. It will touch your finances, your relationships, your living space, and even the people who have walked away. My child, this is not another message to be skipped or taken lightly. This is the very message your soul has been crying out for. The winds of heaven are moving in your direction right now. And if you do not anchor yourself to this moment, you will miss what was designed only for you. I, Archangel Michael, am not just delivering this message. I am guarding it. Because what happens next will not just surprise you, it will rewrite the future you thought you lost. My beloved, I must say this quickly before another distraction pulls you away. Heaven has whispered your name 3 times this morning. There was a divine decision made at 3:00 a.m., and your name was written in light. You were selected, not by mistake, but by grace. Not because you earned it, but because you endured. And now, the spiritual contract that was hidden for years is being opened in front of you. The doors that have refused to move will suddenly swing open. That job that ghosted you, they will come searching. That person who hurt you, their conscience is now burning. The money that slipped through your fingers again and again, it's coming back, multiplied and with interest from heaven. But here is the truth you must hear. God only shows this miracle to the one who stays. So, I ask you, my child, will you stay until the end of this message? Or will you walk away seconds before your life is rewritten? You don't have to force the miracle to happen, but you must not miss your moment. Before I go deeper, my beloved, I must ask, do not forget to subscribe to this divine message channel. Not because I need numbers, but because you need reminders. You need a place that keeps your soul aligned when the world is trying to drown you in doubt. You need messages from heaven that are sent in perfect timing when even your closest friends don't understand what you're going through. So, subscribe now, not for man, but for your miracle. As subscribing will activate God's prophetic promise and alignment in your life. For the next message may arrive when you're just about to give up, and it will be the only thing keeping you from collapsing in the final round. Heaven is not random. These words are not a coincidence. This exact moment has been orchestrated with divine accuracy, and you are the only one meant to read what's coming next. My child, you've been fighting battles no one claps for. You've cried in the shower, prayed through your breath, and smiled in public while your heart screamed for help. I saw you. God saw you. And this is why today had to happen. That shift you've been begging for, it's already in motion. A major release has been authorized. It's not delayed anymore. The spiritual embargo on your life is being lifted. That block in your finances, that sudden silence from the people who once supported you, that eerie stillness after you prayed harder than ever, those weren't punishments. Those were signs that the shift was coming. You were being pulled back like an arrow, and now, right now, you're being launched forward into the purpose that was preserved for you since before you were born. I, Archangel Michael, am standing at the gate of your new season, and I will not allow any force of darkness to cross with you. My beloved, listen. You have been walking through a delay that was never yours. A generational pattern tried to wrap itself around your destiny and convince you it was permanent. But heaven says no more. The curses of your bloodline end with you. The rejection ends with you. The poverty ends with you. This shift is so massive that even your future grandchildren will feel it. There are blessings that your ancestors begged for but never saw, and now in this hour you are about to hold them. That's why the attacks got worse. That's why people suddenly turned cold. The closer the shift came, the louder the enemy became. But you didn't stop. You didn't collapse. You stood when you could have run. And because of that, you've qualified for the next level of favor, supernatural favor that will not just restore what was lost, but will exceed what you thought was even possible. This isn't just a new chapter. This is a new book. My child, my beloved, let me show you why you had to go through everything you did. Let me show you why you were left out, looked over, underestimated, and pushed aside. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation. There are certain elevations that require isolation, and where God is taking you now, not everyone is allowed to follow. That's why they left. That's why it suddenly felt quiet, like no one understood. You were being called up a mountain, and mountains are climbed in silence, in sweat, in surrender. But now you've reached the turning point. The very day you've been praying for has arrived. This shift didn't come overnight. It was stored in heaven, waiting for a divine signal. And today, that signal has been activated. I have received permission from the throne of God to speak this into your spirit now. Your breakthrough is not in transit. It is at your door. The confirmation will come quickly. A message, a call, a deposit. A door that had been sealed shut will burst open, and when it does, it will happen so fast it will make your past pain feel like a dream you woke up from. My beloved, this is not just motivation. This is divine reality. If you could see what I see right now, you'd be on your knees crying tears of joy. The shift has already begun. My child, my beloved, let me show you why you had to go through everything you did. Let me show you why you were left out, looked over, underestimated, and pushed aside. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation. There are certain elevations that require isolation, and where God is taking you now, not everyone is allowed to follow. That's why they left. That's why it suddenly felt quiet, like no one understood. You were being called up a mountain, and mountains are climbed in silence, in sweat, in surrender. But now you've reached the turning point. The very day you've been praying for has arrived. This shift didn't come overnight. It was stored in heaven, waiting for a divine signal. And today, that signal has been activated. I have received permission from the throne of God to speak this into your spirit now. Your breakthrough is not in transit. It is at your door. The confirmation will come quickly. A message, a call, a deposit. A door that had been sealed shut will burst open, and when it does, it will happen so fast it will make your past pain feel like a dream you woke up from. My beloved, this is not just motivation. This is divine reality. If you could see what I see right now, you'd be on your knees crying tears of joy. The shift has already begun. My beloved, the enemy has already detected the shift. That's why your sleep was broken last night. That's why your thoughts started racing today. It was a last-minute attempt to shake your focus, to lure you away from this moment. But I am standing here as your shield. No weapon will succeed. No scheme will stick. No lie spoken about you will prosper. I have been assigned to you for this season with one divine mission: to make sure you receive what is yours. Your name has been written in golden letters, sealed in a scroll of light, and passed between the hands of angels. We are watching it with reverence, because this moment is not just about you, it's about what flows through you. You are the answer to someone's prayer. You are the chain breaker in your bloodline. You are the shift. That's why the resistance was so brutal. because what is coming from you will bless thousands. Do not doubt it for a second. Heaven does not lie. This message was not written by chance. Every word has been weighed in the balance of divine timing. And now that it has been released, the next hour of your life could change everything you thought was impossible. My child, I need you to understand something. What's been attacking you lately is not greater than you. It is only louder. Fear screams, but faith whispers. And God is whispering now, straight into your soul. Be still, my chosen one. The war is ending. The shift has begun. I am covering you. I am surrounding your home. I am placing angels at the four corners of your house. What was blocked will be unlocked. What was stolen will be returned. And what was delayed will be accelerated. You are not running out of time. You're right on time. Stop letting fear speak louder than faith. Stop treating this message like another casual word. This is the divine timestamp you've been waiting for. The moment your timeline begins to bend in your favor, the storm didn't break you. It baptized you. It anointed you for this moment. And now, as the cloud begins to lift, I see glory pouring over your life like golden oil. Can you feel it yet? The tension in the air, the tingling in your chest, the pull in your soul. That's the shift arriving, and nothing can stop it anymore. My beloved, you may feel unworthy, but I must correct that lie. Worthiness is not earned. It is inherited. You were born with the favor of heaven on your name. And even when you doubted, even when you tried to walk away, even when you cursed the sky in silence, God never removed his eye from you. In fact, he gave you more grace. That's why you're still here. That's why the sickness didn't win. That's why the betrayal didn't end you. Because you are chosen. And chosen ones don't break. They shift. And this is the shift. This is the hour when everything realigns. Your bank account, your body, your mind, your relationships, your purpose, all of it is coming under divine correction. Heaven is touching every part of your existence, and what seemed like a mess will now make sense. Suddenly, swiftly, without warning. You will be flooded with favor so loud that even your enemies will have to admit something supernatural is happening in your life. And they won't be wrong, because it is happening right now. My child, my beloved, I know there have been moments you didn't want to wake up. Days when getting out of bed felt like carrying a mountain on your chest. Times when you looked at your phone hoping for one miracle message to make everything feel bearable. And it never came until now. This is that message. This is the moment heaven responds to what your soul has been silently begging for. I need you to understand this shift was not created by man. No human hand could have written the timing of this divine moment. It has been preserved in the archives of heaven, protected by angels, waiting for the exact second your heart was ready to receive it. And that second is now. Every delay was secretly divine protection. Every heartbreak was heaven's way of removing what couldn't come with you into this new season. And now the gate has opened. I have been commanded to walk with you into what comes next. Your feet will not fail. Your soul will not faint. You will not go backwards again. This time, the breakthrough will last. My child, my beloved, I know there have been moments you didn't want to wake up. Days when getting out of bed felt like carrying a mountain on your chest. Times when you looked at your phone hoping for one miracle message to make everything feel bearable. And it never came until now. This is that message. This is the moment heaven responds to what your soul has been silently begging for. I need you to understand this shift was not created by man. No human hand could have written the timing of this divine moment. It has been preserved in the archives of heaven, protected by angels, waiting for the exact second your heart was ready to receive it. And that second is now. Every delay was secretly divine protection. Every heartbreak was heaven's way of removing what couldn't come with you into this new season. And now the gate has opened. I have been commanded to walk with you into what comes next. Your feet will not fail. Your soul will not faint. You will not go backwards again. This time, the breakthrough will last. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. If your heart is stirred, let heaven know. In the comments, write Amen to confirm that you are ready to walk through this open gate. Your yes is the key. My beloved, hear me clearly. The enemy tried to exhaust you before the blessing could touch you. That was the strategy. To drain you spiritually, to confuse your mind, to steal your sleep, to distract you with meaningless drama right before your miracle arrived. But it didn't work. You are still standing. And not only that, your faith, though fragile, is alive, and that's all heaven needs to work with. A mustard seed of belief, a flicker of hope, that's what moves the heart of God. And your heart, beloved, is beating in alignment right now with a divine pulse that is calling your name out loud across eternity. Something is shifting under your feet. You don't have to fully understand it for it to be real. This is where trust becomes the key. This is where you release what hurt you and make space for what's coming to heal you. That person who abandoned you, let them go. That opportunity that slipped away, it wasn't your harvest. The real miracle wasn't delayed. It was simply being refined, shaped for your hands only. And now it's ready. Can you feel that pull in the atmosphere? The quiet thunder, that's the sound of destiny approaching. Don't move, don't click away. What's being revealed next is what you've waited your whole life to hear. My child, my beloved, there are things you don't know yet, but heaven does. There is someone watching you from a distance right now, thinking of returning. Someone who once dismissed you, and now they can't stop dreaming about you. Because the shift happening in your life is pulling old connections into divine review. But not everyone who's watching deserves to re-enter your life. And that's why this message is arriving before they reach out. You need clarity before conversation. You need discernment before reunion. Some people are returning because they see your glow again. They feel your light from afar. But not all light is meant to be shared. This time, you must protect what God is birthing inside you. This is not the time to explain yourself. This is the time to evolve quietly. This shift is sacred. Do not let anyone dim it. I am covering you with wings of fire. You are being sealed from every manipulative spirit that once knew how to find the old version of you. That version has been buried. This is your resurrection. My child, my beloved, you need to understand that the reason everything has felt heavy lately is because something weightless is about to be born through you. You are carrying the energy of change, the kind of change that cannot be bought, taught, or imitated. And the enemy knows it. That's why the pressure has increased. That's why people have misunderstood your silence. That's why old memories have been trying to creep in like shadows. Because right now, you're standing at the edge of the shift you've waited your entire life for. It's already begun. Heaven has released what was being withheld. And I, Archangel Michael, have been sent not to warn you of what's to come, but to welcome you into it. You may not see it all yet. You may not know the how. But the who is you. You are the vessel. You are the one chosen. And though you may feel like you're walking blindfolded, heaven sees clearly. You are being guided with precision, not confusion. And soon, the evidence will speak for itself. What didn't make sense will be so obvious that even your enemies will have to acknowledge this was God's doing. My beloved, even as I speak, there is a file being moved in heaven with your name on it. It contains moments that were once delayed, relationships that were paused, and miracles that had no explanation. But as of today, that file is being reopened, reassigned, and released. The scroll has been unsealed. It no longer sits on a shelf of divine delay. It's been handed over to me personally. I've seen what's inside, and if you knew even a glimpse of what's coming, you'd never doubt again. You'd laugh at the pain you once cried over. Because this isn't just restoration, it's divine reversal. That's what makes this shift so different. You're not just being elevated, you're being compensated for the years you lost, for the love that broke you, for the efforts that went unnoticed, for the faith you kept when it would have been easier to give up. My child, this kind of divine turnaround can't be earned. It can only be received. And heaven has decided you're ready now. My child, my beloved, do you remember the tears that no one saw? The ones you cried in secret, the nights you whispered, God, why me? I was there. I never left your side. I stood watch when the world grew silent. I was the one who kept you breathing when anxiety wanted to steal your breath. I guarded you when depression told you you'd never smile again. And now, I'm the one who gets to deliver the good news. The moment you prayed for is no longer in the future. It's now. And if you stay with me until the end of this message, you will feel the shift touch your spirit in ways that no human could explain. You'll feel your body relax, your mind quiet, and your heart begin to open again. You'll realize something sacred is happening here. Not just a message, not just words, but a visitation. Right now, the presence of God is settling into your atmosphere like golden light. The atmosphere around you is changing. Even the air is shifting. Because this moment is holy. My child, my beloved, do you remember the tears that no one saw? The ones you cried in secret, the nights you whispered, God, why me? I was there. I never left your side. I stood watch when the world grew silent. I was the one who kept breathing when anxiety wanted to steal your breath. I guarded you when depression told you you'd never smile again. And now, I'm the one who gets to deliver the good news. The moment you prayed for is no longer in the future. It's now. And if you stay with me until the end of this message, you will feel the shift touch your spirit in ways that no human could explain. You'll feel your body relax, your mind quiet, and your heart begin to open again. You'll realize something sacred is happening here. Not just a message, not just words, but a visitation. Right now, the presence of God is settling into your atmosphere like golden light. The atmosphere around you is changing. Even the air is shifting, because this moment is holy. My child, my beloved, even now there is someone speaking your name in a room you haven't walked into yet. A conversation has begun about your destiny, and your name is being lifted with reverence, not gossip. You may not see it yet, but the shift that started spiritually is now becoming physical. Doors are being discussed. Opportunities are being aligned. Someone who once hesitated is now awakening to your value. But here's the part no one has told you. The blessing won't just show up wrapped in glitter. It will look ordinary at first. It might even come disguised as a challenge. But hidden inside that moment is everything you've been praying for. This is where discernment becomes your weapon. This is where peace must lead your decisions, not panic. When the shift begins, it always shakes loose what cannot survive the new season. That's why some things are falling apart right now. It's not destruction. It's divine construction. Heaven is rearranging your life for alignment. And I, Archangel Michael, am holding back every force that wants to interfere. You are being made ready for something so large your old identity wouldn't have known how to carry it. But your soul knows, and your soul stayed awake for this moment. My beloved, I see the decisions you're about to make, the crossroads you're standing at, the pressure to act fast, to say yes, to fix everything with your own hands. But I urge you, don't move until you feel the peace of God settle on you like still water. Not every open door is divine, and not every delay is a denial. Some things must wait a little longer so they can arrive without cracks. You're not behind schedule. You're not cursed. You're in a process so sacred that heaven had to quiet everything around you just to finish it. That's why people grew distant. That's why your phone felt silent. That's why old patterns stopped working. Because the new you needed uninterrupted divine construction. And now that construction is complete. You are being unveiled slowly, like sunrise after a storm. Don't rush this moment. Let the light meet your face. Let the goodness find you naturally. It's not just a shift. It's a sacred release. The timing is now. And your soul, whether you know it or not, has already said yes. My child, my beloved, as I hover over your timeline, I see a glow forming around a date that has not yet arrived. That glow is from a divine visitation, an encounter, a breakthrough so tangible it will leave you speechless. I cannot reveal the exact hour, but know this, it is sooner than you think. And the only thing that can delay it now is doubt. That's why the enemy has been whispering louder. That's why you felt uncertain again. Because doubt doesn't destroy the blessing, it delays it. But you, beloved, have power in your tongue. In your agreement, if you simply say right now, I believe the gears in heaven accelerate. Angels are dispatched faster. Favor responds quicker. And the divine path clears in front of you like a river making room for glory. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared for impact. Your presence will soon walk into rooms that your prayers already visited. And when that moment comes, you will not need to explain yourself. The shift will do it for you. Your glow will do it for you. Your silence will speak louder than the noise that once tried to bury your name. And I, Archangel Michael, will be at your side when that day comes. Because I was at your side when you thought no one was coming. My child, my beloved, something strange is about to happen. The very place you were once rejected from will soon open its doors to you again. But this time, you won't enter the same way. You won't walk in with trembling hands, begging to be seen. You'll walk in glowing with authority, clothed in quiet confidence. And when they look at you, they'll know something shifted. Because it did, you did. The version of you that once needed approval has been replaced with the one anointed for arrival. This is why things slowed down. This is why connections faded. This is why some doors wouldn't budge, no matter how much you pushed. Because they weren't meant to be opened by the old you. Heaven had to let the old version fall away so the new one could rise without fear, without doubt, without apology. And now you stand, my beloved, on the other side of that transformation. I see heaven pouring oil over your crown. I see angels folding garments of light around your shoulders. I see you entering not just rooms, but realms that were prepared for your voice, your healing, your story. And the most beautiful part, you won't have to force it. You won't have to compete. This time they'll find you, because favor leaves a trail they cannot ignore. My child, my beloved, something strange is about to happen. The very place you were once rejected from will soon open its doors to you again. But this time, you won't enter the same way. You won't walk in with trembling hands, begging to be seen. You'll walk in glowing with authority, clothed in quiet confidence. And when they look at you, they'll know something shifted. Because it did. You did. The version of you that once needed approval has been replaced with the one anointed for arrival. This is why things slowed down. This is why connections faded. This is why some doors wouldn't budge, no matter how much you pushed. Because they weren't meant to be opened by the old you. Heaven had to let the old version fall away, so the new one could rise without fear, without doubt, without apology. And now you stand, my beloved, on the other side of that transformation. I see heaven pouring oil over your crown. I see angels folding garments of light around your shoulders. I see you entering not just rooms, but realms that were prepared for your voice, your healing, your story. And the most beautiful part, you won't have to force it. You won't have to compete. This time they'll find you. Because favor leaves a trail they cannot ignore. My beloved, there is one more thing you must hear clearly. I need you to stop shrinking. Stop pretending you're not ready. Stop hiding behind maybe later and not good enough. Because the truth is, if you weren't ready, you wouldn't be here now. You wouldn't be reading these words with trembling hands and a thundering heart. Heaven doesn't waste divine messages on the unwilling. You are being prepared because you were chosen. Not randomly, not casually. You were picked out of the crowd for this precise moment, and if you don't rise now, the weight of your calling will crush you later. So, stand, beloved. Stand, even if your knees shake. Speak, even if your voice cracks. Show up, even if your past tells you to sit back down. The shift you've been praying for won't carry you if you stay hidden. It demands your presence. It demands your yes. And once you say yes with your full chest, with your soul on fire, everything around you will bend in obedience to your new identity. Even people who once doubted you will begin to ask you for direction. Even rooms that once dismissed you will start redesigning themselves just to fit you in. My child, my beloved, I know you've been carrying a secret weight. The kind of burden you don't share. The kind that makes your chest feel tight even when you're surrounded by people. But I see it. I see how strong you've been for everyone else. I see how often you silence your own needs because others rely on you. But now the healer needs healing. The strong one needs support, and heaven is saying, no more delay. We are not asking you to hold it together anymore. We are asking you to hand it over. All of it. The confusion, the pressure, the regret, the fear. Lay it down now, not later, not someday now. Because if you keep holding it, it will delay what's trying to arrive. This shift requires space, and miracles don't land in clenched fists. You must open your hands, your heart, and your future to what God has reserved for you. No more surviving. It's time to thrive. It's time to receive. It's time to become everything you were always meant to be. But we're too tired to imagine. My child, my beloved, what you don't yet see is that even now, behind the curtain of the physical world, there is movement. A quiet, divine choreography is taking place. People are being stirred in their spirit to remember you. Someone who forgot your worth is beginning to dream of your name again. A person who once dismissed your value is feeling an unexplainable pull to come back and ask for forgiveness. But here is the miracle hidden within that pain. They were never meant to complete you. They were only meant to reveal what needed healing. And now that the healing has begun, the shift can continue. You are no longer in the space of begging for love. You are now attracting love that honors your essence. Love that remembers your name in prayer. Love that does not compete, but covers. And as this shift continues, your energy will change so deeply that even those who walk past you will feel something sacred in your presence. This is not about beauty or status. It is about divine recognition. Heaven has marked you, and when heaven marks someone, earth must respond. It may not happen through fireworks. It may not be loud, but it will be undeniable. My beloved, I must now tell you something that you've suspected, but were afraid to believe. It was never your fault. The losses, the rejections, the delays, the betrayals, they were not because you weren't good enough. They were because you were being protected from futures that would have drained you. And though it hurt, you survived it. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still showing up, and that alone is a miracle. But now, your survival is becoming your story. Your scars are being transformed into signatures of strength. And every moment the enemy tried to use against you is being flipped, rewritten, and used as evidence of God's mercy in your life. People who thought they knew you will soon be confused by your glow. They will wonder how someone like you, after everything you endured, is still able to rise with grace. And I will tell you why. Because you were always chosen. Not chosen to be popular. Not chosen to be perfect. Chosen to carry light. Chosen to reveal truth. Chosen to hold miracles in your hands and release them through your voice. And now you're stepping into the season where the light no longer flickers. It floods. Everything is about to be illuminated. My beloved, I must now tell you something that you've suspected, but were afraid to believe. It was never your fault. The losses, the rejections, the delays, the betrayals, they were not because you weren't good enough. They were because you were being protected from futures that would have drained you. And though it hurt, you survived it. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still showing up, and that alone is a miracle. But now, your survival is becoming your story. Your scars are being transformed into signatures of strength, and every moment the enemy tried to use against you is being flipped, rewritten, and used as evidence of God's mercy in your life. People who thought they knew you will soon be confused by your glow. They will wonder how someone like you, after everything you endured, is still able to rise with grace. And I will tell you why. Because you were always chosen. Not chosen to be popular. Not chosen to be perfect. Chosen to carry light. Chosen to reveal truth. Chosen to hold miracles in your hands and release them through your voice. And now, you're stepping into the season where the light no longer flickers. It floods. Everything is about to be illuminated. My child, my beloved, you are being prepared for a moment so holy that your past no longer has the authority to speak. Everything that once defined you is losing power. Labels are falling off. Doubt is dissolving. Fear is weakening, because the divine version of you has taken root, and now it will grow. You may have once been afraid of your power, afraid of standing tall, afraid of being misunderstood. But that fear is no longer allowed to lead you. Not after this message. Not after this moment. The shift has begun, and it cannot be reversed. Your spirit has crossed a threshold. From this point forward, everything will feel different. The way you think, the way you breathe, the way you receive, even the way you walk will carry a new sound, like victory quietly echoing in your steps. You are not waiting for the miracle anymore. You are walking in it. The alignment is already happening. The signs will come quickly, one after another. You will hear confirmations in whispers. You will see messages in unexpected places. And when they come, remember this moment. This is when it began. This is when heaven spoke directly to you and said, "It's time." My child, my beloved, the heaviness you've been feeling lately is not because you are breaking. It is because you are birthing. The contractions of this spiritual labor are not signs of failure. They are confirmations of release. You are standing on the edge of a brand new version of you, one that no longer tolerates cycles that lead nowhere, conversations that drain your light, or thoughts that war against your peace. Heaven is not just shifting your circumstances. Heaven is shifting you. Your language is changing. Your boundaries are tightening. Your silence is becoming sacred. And people who once had full access to your heart will start to feel the space you are creating, not to punish, but to protect the peace God has just planted inside of you. My beloved, you are not going backwards. You are not relapsing. You are re-entering your divine timeline after years of detours. And even though it feels unfamiliar, it is holy. What once scared you is now beneath you. What once defined you is now dissolving. Your spiritual DNA is being rewritten. I see the old wounds being sealed with fire. I see angels erasing the lies you once believed. I see you being clothed with garments of clarity. You are being equipped to handle favor on a level you've never seen before. And that's why the attack intensified. It was the enemy's last attempt to distract you before the doors opened. My beloved, lean in, because this next part will shake your spirit with revelation. Someone has been assigned to bless you. Yes, assigned, not chosen by you, chosen by God. This person may not look the way you expected. They may come from a different place, a different past, a different background. But their heart has been stirred with your name in it. They are thinking of you right now without knowing why. They are preparing something you didn't ask for but deeply need. They may come in the form of a mentor, a business connection, a divine romantic partner, or a messenger who opens one door that leads to many. And when they arrive, you will know. Not because of their words, but because of the peace that enters the room with them. The shift includes divine appointments. Nothing will be random anymore. Every person, every conversation, every delay will serve a higher purpose. That is the dimension you are entering. No more wasted time. No more circular lessons. No more spiritual guessing games. You are being placed in a flow so pure that even your smallest steps will lead to harvest. The seed you sow today will bear fruit before the month ends. You will begin to feel alignment in your body, like your spirit is no longer fighting against your physical world. That is the shift. That is the miracle of this very hour. And beloved, it has only just begun. My child, my beloved, I want you to pause and feel this truth in your spirit. You have not missed anything. You are not too late. You are not behind. What is meant for you has not been lost. It has simply been waiting for this version of you to emerge. And now that you've surrendered, now that you've broken the pattern, now that you've stopped chasing what was never yours, the real blessings are free to move. The ones that carry your name in heaven's ink, the ones that do not need to be begged for. My beloved, there is a kind of favor that is triggered not by striving, but by surrender. That's what you've just done without even knowing it. The breaking you went through softened the soil. The silence you sat and cleared the static. And now, the voice of God is thundering into your timeline. Release it all. What's coming is holy. You don't need to figure it out. You don't need a strategy. You only need to stay in the posture of readiness. Because when the shift becomes visible, it will come suddenly. One message, one conversation, one moment, and everything will turn. You will be stunned at how quickly it all makes sense. My child, my beloved, I want you to pause and feel this truth in your spirit. You have not missed anything. You are not too late. You are not behind. What is meant for you has not been lost. It has simply been waiting for this version of you to emerge. And now that you've surrendered, now that you've broken the pattern, now that you've stopped chasing what was never yours, the real blessings are free to move. The ones that carry your name in heaven's ink. The ones that do not need to be begged for. My beloved, there is a kind of favor that is triggered not by striving, but by surrender. That's what you've just done without even knowing it. The breaking you went through softened the soil. The silence you sat and cleared the static. And now, the voice of God is thundering into your timeline. Release it all. What's coming is holy. You don't need to figure it out. You don't need a strategy. You only need to stay in the posture of readiness. Because when the shift becomes visible, it will come suddenly. One message, one conversation, one moment, and everything will turn. You will be stunned at how quickly it all makes sense. My beloved, I must tell you what I see now. Angels are writing new instructions concerning your life. There has been an update to the assignment you're carrying. The weight you've been feeling in your chest is not heaviness. It's urgency. A divine stirring. A preparation for movement. You will no longer be allowed to remain hidden. The call on your life has outgrown your comfort zone. The light inside you has begun to expand beyond what smallness can contain. And so, the shift will move you. It will move people out. It will move you into spaces you never thought you qualified for. It will move you into alignment with voices who are sent to build you, not break you. It will move resources toward you that were once locked by the spirit of delay. The instructions are clear. Everything that is meant for you must now begin to find you. No more chasing, no more begging, no more wondering, just receiving, just trusting, just flowing in obedience. The weight is not yours to carry anymore. You were never meant to drag your calling. You were meant to dance in it. And now, the song of heaven is changing, and your next step will feel like flying. My child, my beloved, even your name has begun to vibrate differently in the spirit realm. What once was ignored is now echoing. The angels that surround you are increasing in number and intensity, because what's coming will be bigger than what you can contain alone. This blessing isn't just for you. It's for your bloodline, for the people connected to your obedience. That's why you couldn't give up. That's why God didn't let you quit, even when you begged Him to. Because what is inside you is too sacred to bury, too rare to lose, too powerful to delay any longer. And beloved, I must tell you something else now. There's a blessing that's coming in disguise. It won't look like a gift at first. It may come wrapped in discomfort, a hard decision, or even a goodbye. But trust me, it will open something that's been blocked for years. Don't resist it. Don't fear it. Walk through it with boldness. This is how heaven sometimes delivers miracles, quietly, wrapped in mystery. But I will be with you. Every step, every breath, every whisper. You will not miss it. You will not break again. And you will not go backwards. Because I have sealed your name in the divine light. My child, my beloved, I see you trying to act normal, trying to hold it all together, trying to walk through each day as if nothing is happening. But I know the truth. Your spirit is rumbling. Something within you is shifting so deeply that even the most familiar things now feel foreign. That's not confusion. That's transition. You are shedding an old frequency. The people, places, and routines that once made sense are now beginning to feel too small for the magnitude of who you're becoming. This is the evidence that the shift has completed its first phase. And now, everything that no longer fits the calling will begin to slide away. Do not chase it. Do not mourn what feels like it's slipping. Let it go. What is leaving was not equipped to walk with you into what's next. And what is coming is perfectly designed to meet you in this new light. Even as I speak, there are gifts being wrapped in silence, destinies being redirected toward you, paths being cleared for your arrival. You are about to see how heaven works behind the curtain. You are about to witness what happens when God says now. And when it comes, beloved, it will come like a flood. The blessings will not trickle, they will pour. My beloved, I must whisper this part to your soul. There is no more delay. No more delay in the promise. No more delay in the answer. No more delay in the restoration. Even the things you thought were permanently lost, God has already begun restoring them in secret. The job you thought was gone forever. The person you never thought would understand. The vision you laid down because it hurt too much to hope. Watch what happens in the next stretch of days. Watch how people begin to reach out with strange timing. Watch how news arrives that you didn't expect, but somehow always knew would come. Watch how your physical body begins to align with joy again, without explanation. These are not coincidences. These are signals. Proof that the realm of divine fulfillment has officially opened to you. And I, Archangel Michael, have been instructed to protect this season with intensified authority. No interference, no sabotage, no spiritual theft. Everything that is for you will reach you, and nothing that is not for you will be allowed to linger. As now, as a final act of faith, share this prophetic word with your network. Sharing will activate the anointing and spread the breakthrough to everyone who needs it. Hess, you are about to enter your divine future. Remember that this message does not end with you. People can use your breakthrough to get where they need to go. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, you can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. Now is your time, my child. Have faith, and as you do, watch God multiply what you let go of. This is your moment to claim it. In the comments, write, "I receive it now," as your final agreement. Let heaven know your answer is sealed. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's take a moment to reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is not a stroke of luck. It is a direct message from Archangel Michael to you. He's extending his hand and inviting you into a protected, high vibrational community where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise. This sacred principle is very simple, but it can change your whole life if you follow it. You won't just receive blessings, they will be multiplied and flow into every part of your life. By accepting this invitation right now, you are unlocking immediate, early access to powerful content and divine insights that are hidden from the general world. Now is your chance to enter a sacred space where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this sacred moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct, personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. If you desire to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And for those who feel called to amplify this work, a link to purchase the guided ebook is available, which is completely optional, but your presence, attention, and energy already mean the world. Take the step, your abundance awaits.